What's up, AfterBuzzers and Glow fans? We've got some premonitions and expectations for what you're about to see. We had amazing guests last week, and we have a very toxic guest this week, so you won't want to miss it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Love this. I feel like my ponytail is very appropriate for this.
You just love this song.
I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Very appropriate
So
for Glow.
It's deceivingly a very hard karaoke song. I see many girls go up and try to do this song, and it's like, they just, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you picked the wrong song.
No one's having fun anymore, but we're having a lot of fun. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for joining us for the Glow After Show. My name is Candice Cruz, and who am I sitting next to this week? Because I never know.
Radioactive Rick Hong.
I can't. This is amazing.
Eat your heart out, Kimmy Gatewood.
Oh. Well, I mean, how do you follow after that right there?
I don't know. He just called out Kimmy Gatewood. That's crazy.
Guys, I'm going to be in a world of pain because of this episode. Thanks a lot. She's going to take it out on me.
Oh my gosh, you guys, hi. I'm Little Egypt, and I get the pleasure of introducing you to one of the stars of Glow Netflix, Rebekka Johnson. Welcome to the show, Rebekka.
Hi.
Oh my God. I'm so excited. I feel like a housewife. I just want to get into character with you right now.
I'm going to belly dance.
Oh, please do. That would be so awesome. We are so excited to have you on the show, but we're not done our introductions.
Nope, we also have one other special person on the couch.
Sorry, Bill.
I'm Bill Hanstock. It's okay.
All right,
Let's go back to our guest.
Are you going to belly dance as well?
Yeah.
Come on, let's do it.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
It's all about the motion of the ocean, I've heard.
Oh my gosh. Well, first question off the top of my head is, oh my gosh, what type of prep did you do to get ready to become a wrestler on television? Like that was our story. Like that was a story of like we didn't have any prep. I mean, there was no mental game there. It was like show up, take a bump. What was it like for you guys?
Well, I think it was a little easier than what you guys had because we had 4 weeks and not 2. But yeah, basically, I had a 1.5-year-old and I hadn't worked out in longer than that. I auditioned with Kimmy Gatewood. We auditioned because we're comedians and we do like singing and dancing and slapstick comedy. But you know, I wouldn't consider myself an athlete. And so it was crazy. We got cast, and 2 weeks later we were in the ring, and Chavo Guerrero was teaching us forward rolls and, you know, running the ropes and eventually back bumps. And, you know, they made sure that we were really safe and well taken care of because we had to be safe for 4 months. And
Netflix has a lot of money, so.
Yeah. And wait, did you just say 4 months of training?
Or no, it was like we had to be safe for the whole 4 months. 'Cause it's a month of training and then 3 months of shooting. And then as we would be shooting, on our days off, we would also train. So if we had a match coming up, then we definitely have a few hours, you know, each day leading up to it. Or if we didn't, then there would be certain almost like skill drills where you'd go in, and it would be everybody who wasn't shooting that day, and we'd learn a bunch of new things so that we had a big like language of wrestling. And then when a match would come up, then you know, between the writers and the stunt coordinator and Chavo and us, it would all kind of like the match would come together about like what we would actually do.
Did you notice that when you're first taking bumps, your body doesn't really know how to deal with the impact of those bumps? I mean, later you get comfortable and you kind of enjoy it, but were you sore? You do. Yeah, you actually, if you land right, if you land flat, it's a nice feeling. Although you had a real wrestling ring and we had a boxing ring, so totally different. I mean, our bumps were ouch. Like we hit hard. I didn't step into a real ring until 20 years later. When I did, I was like, "Are you kidding me? This is what it feels like. This is amazing."
Yeah, and I think we even have like a tiny bit more padding than a regular ring, but we can't have too much because it would like twist your ankle.
Oh,
you
right.
know, you need the balance.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, no, I had so many accounts of whiplash. Like giving myself I mean, my neck was always in pain. All of us, necks, shoulders, backs, like, you know, and I got tendonitis in my knees right away. Like, after a week, I was like, something's wrong with my knees. It felt like my kneecaps were going to separate. And it was because I went from not working out to suddenly learning how to wrestle. And I went to a doctor, and he's like, it's just tendonitis. ice, ibuprofen, and I went to physical therapist, and they were like, well, the thing you need to do is like stop wrestling. I was like, not gonna happen. So I was like, just get me through the shoot, and then I was able to really like heal after we were done shooting, and then I started, you know, eating slightly better and doing Pilates every once in a while, and so I had like an ab for season 2, and that helped. And my
One
knees
ab.
Yeah, one ab. I get a new ab every season, so I can say that I proudly have 2 abs now.
Fantastic.
You can't see them. Not because I won't let you, because they're under a lot of cush, but the core strength really helped my knees for season 2. So.
Well, by 6th season, you'll have a 6-pack, so you're all
it's
good.
amazing.
And just keep
And
going.
after 12 seasons, she'll have a 12 pack.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
And then
will
I'll
be
really
impressive.
need a drink.
So Rebekka, like, so what was revealed to me season 1 premiere was that you and Kimmy are like best friends, and I think you guys share some of the same representatives.
Yes.
So like, how does that call go? Oh, I mean, like, who gets the call first? Are you guys together in terms of like, okay, so you guys are gonna audition together, or same thing, like, you guys got the part? I mean, like, I don't know what you ladies are doing.
Well, we've had a lot of calls together because we've been performing together for over 12 years in our comedy group called the Apple Sisters. And so, like, one of the first big things was that we got to be in a scene in Bridesmaids, and it was cut out, but it's on the Blu-ray.
Awesome.
But the cool thing was getting that call from, like, it was a big conference call. All of a sudden, agents and managers, everyone's on, and they're like, we have great news, not having any idea what it was going to be. And so that was so cool. And then with Glow, it was an email that went to both of us. It said in the email that we were both going to go in together. And when we got to the original audition, we saw other, like, of our comedy friends. There were lots of comedy pals there also auditioning for, you know, Dawn and Stacey role. And the callback, though, the only person we saw was Sidel, who, if you see her, she's wearing workout clothes, she's one big muscle, and I was like, oh, we're auditioning, like, and that's another person auditioning, like, there's no way we're gonna get this show. And Kimmy and I went in like 80s jeans, and we did our hair and looked just like, you know, perfect 80s losers. And they asked us to come up with a tag team character, and we came up with 5. And because we're overachievers, and we were like, okay, you can watch us do 3 to 5 characters. You could tell us to stop after 3 if you don't have time, or say keep going. And they were, after 3, they were like, keep going. And then Kimmy did a pratfall, I did a jump split, and then we got the job. And when they called, our manager was trying to call both of us at the same time. Kimmy wasn't picking up, so I got the news and then just texted her 50 times until finally she picked up, because she figured like the amount of times I was like, she looks at her phone and is like, oh my god. And so then we celebrated. We had champagne in my backyard because I just couldn't believe it. Yeah, could not believe it.
We hadn't started the roles yet.
Yeah.
So.
But we can do it now before training starts.
Yeah.
Well, going off of that, what other characters, or can you share what you did in the audition that didn't make the actual, like, cut?
Yeah, we did. I played this, like, little kid, and she was my Aunt Lottie, and she talked like this, and I was a little kid, and she would, like, goad me into wrestling. We played pig wrestlers, so, like, Southern pig wrestlers.
Yes.
We played, like, New York housewives, because I'm actually from New York, so the New York accent is, like, very easy for me, so that's what I was like, oh, this is what we're gonna get cast doing. But Jackie Tone's New York accent was a lot stronger than mine, and so she won in that department. She got to keep her traditional accent. And we did Susie Homewrecker and Betty Cracker, and
Awesome.
we did something like, you know, salt and pepper, and I don't even remember all the jokes, but we
That's
did that.
amazing.
Yeah, I can't remember the last one, but we just like did use our sketch comedy background and came up with a bunch of dumb characters and physical bits and quick jokes, and yeah, and we did it. We just were like, went for it. It just felt like these parts are for us. Like, and I've not really felt that way before. Like, usually I go to an audition and I'm like, oh, I would love to have this. I'll never get it. And this, it just felt like, if there's a job that I have been training for in the 20 years I've been doing comedy, it is this friggin' job. And so it was just so cool that it, like, happens, and the casting director had seen the Apple Sisters years before, so they all came together. I just talked for like 20 minutes.
No, that is a great story.
I'm just like, tell me more. Tell me all the things.
It's like divine, like amazing.
It was, felt
Wow.
very
Because Alison was talking about they kept calling her back and they never showed any indication that they were interested in her at all. She kept crying after each audition.
Which is kind of perfect for Ruth.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, because it's like that's exactly the struggle that like Ruth goes through, so it makes sense. And for us, they just needed like people who would just be complete fools, and like that's what we've been training to do. So
It's very meta.
yeah.
So if you ladies didn't get the part, would you have been like, Kimmy, you blew it?
Yeah, we
I'm
would have
kidding.
wrestled.
I'm
We would have
kidding.
wrestled anyway because we would have wrestled each other. No, if we hadn't got the part, I would have been like, oh, classic, my normal life. Like, just be like, yeah, I get close to things and don't get them a lot, So it was just like, oh, another one bites the dust. I would have been sad when the show came out, and then eventually been happy for the girls that got it,
How long? So then, how long was that? How long was it? Like a week process, 2-week process from like when you first went in till when you went back, or was it just one?
It
Like
was a week later. Like the audition first, the callback was a week later, and apparently some of the girls had months of back and forth, and several auditions and stuff. Ours was pretty close to the time that we were going to start shooting.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Wow,
Oh, that's
so quick
great. That's
turnaround.
relieving.
Yeah.
Because I think Brittany maybe said that hers was a while. I think is
Yeah.
what I remember.
And she had to actually wrestle, like, to show. I mean, thank God they didn't try to get me to wrestle in the audition. Oh, but
Your wrestling's pretty
I
good, though.
can do it. It just it took me longer to get to where some people got quickly. You know what I mean? But I got there still. But it just didn't take me right. Like, I wasn't right away. But yeah.
Well, you guys, since sketch comedy is your background, how much involvement did you all get to have in your duo the first season, and then you're involving into the Toxic Twins in the second season?
Well, the cool thing was they, when we first see the Beatdown Biddies, it's like episode 3 of season 1, and they just wrote like 4 lines. It was like, I'm Ethel, I'm Edna, and we're the Beatdown Biddies. That's 3 lines. Right. And that was it. And then they were like, do whatever you want. So Kimmy and I took like an hour and just sat on the side and just wrote a million versions of the jokes. And so then what made it in of me being like, I'm like a good five of cereal. When I beat you up, I'll make you shit your pants. Like,
Oh, that
I
was
wrote
so
that.
awesome.
She wrote the moles. So all of those like specific jokes were like ours. So often as the
Wow.
biddies, they let us say whatever. And then they kind of know how we're going to say. So some things it's scripted, but
Oh, we
Oh,
do? Oh,
a
that's
caller.
so wonderful. Welcome to the show. Who's on the air?
Who's
Hello?
this?
Hello?
Hello? If
Yeah.
you hold on, who is this? What am I calling?
Oh my
Who are we
God!
talking-
You're calling the AfterBuzz Studios. Can you tell us who you are? What's your name? Welcome to the call. Welcome to the show.
You sound awfully peppy. I'm Phyllis. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Little Egypt, and I knew a Phyllis once, but that was a nightmare. I try not to think about.
I'm calling Egypt. I'm not paying for this call. Hold on. Can you hold on? Please, will you hold on? Hold on.
Oh boy, I think I know who this is, ladies and gentlemen.
oh my God, my heart is beating so fast.
Arlene?
Hello?
Arlene?
Oh, she's
Hello,
with.
this is Arlene.
Oh.
Hello.
Are you guys calling from Newark, New Jersey?
No, from Arlene.
Arlene, she said I was calling Egypt. I'm not paying for Egypt. I won't do it.
I'll do it.
I'm doing
They
it.
can't make
I
you.
don't know what this is. Who the hell is on the phone? I'm animals to feed, for Christ's sake. Who is?
I gotta get back to my soaking.
What are you soaking?
I'm soaking myself. And now I'm all wet and drippy with the phone. This is not comfortable for me at all.
Who is on the phone? We have an Egypt on the phone. Who else?
She's
I'm Ethel Rosenblatt.
Is it Rose?
It's Ethel Rosenblatt.
It's my Edna. I love Edna.
I haven't heard from you in a long time. I thought you died. I thought you were dead.
I can't believe it. You know, Edna, I'm not kidding you. I just had lox. But I had some nice bread. It was delicious. How are you, honey?
Oh, I'm bad. I've been
a nursing home. Nobody visits me. I've been wrestling. There's a loud robot sound. I don't know if the audience can hear that.
All I hear is screeching.
They must be sending a fax. Are you calling my fax?
It is the 80s.
You two idiots are calling my fax.
They're laughing at us. Are we calling by fax? They're laughing at us. I don't know if I enjoy
How does this work?
I'm not sure if I enjoy being laughed at. So, Edna, let me ask you, does it hurt? Is your sciatica kicking up from all that wrestling? It's painful, isn't it?
Oh, I have sciatica from my toes to my head, and I have sciatica in my dead husband has sciatica from my wrestling.
You see what I'm saying? There's so much aggravation in wrestling, it gives you nothing but sciatica, right, Arlene? Arlene has to soak constantly in the bathtub because she's constantly stiff.
Well, I'm soaking right now because I'm wearing a diaper.
This is very surreal. This is very surreal.
I like this one. I like her very much. She's the one. Hey, speaking of honest,
Edna, we've been close a long time, but we haven't had a chance to speak. She's very busy now. Edna, Russell, she's a little kooky. You and I did it 30 years ago, and it was tough now for crying out.
that was tough then. I can't even imagine that.
Oh, now we have a union. Now we're unionized.
They get what?
It's a union, God damn it.
I remember when the first State of the Union was said, and now I'm in a union for acting.
Union, you deserve to be in a.
That's fantastic.
You always.
Congratulations.
You know what else I deserve? A nap.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds delightful. Good for you, sweetheart. Good for you.
I know. Isn't it nice that she gets to be in a union? I bet anything she doesn't have to buy her own lunch. What do you want to bet?
Oh, yeah. They give me all the lunch I want. I have tuna fish and clamato.
Hey, I'll tell you what, if you're sitting next to Egypt, take her other knee out.
Wow.
That hurts so bad. Oh, man.
Sorry, he's walking around, raving around in the pretty little skinny butt still has. Walking around, going, Egypt, I'm so pretty. Look at me, I'm lovely. Take her other knee out.
You guys have to stop saying that. She's hurting me. I'm going to take out the top of the pyramid, too. No, you created a monster, you knucklehead. Oh, my God, she is. She's actually transforming into an ozone right now. Oh, my God. Uh-oh, there's a transformation going on.
Does ozone set things on fire? Does ozone set things on fire or cut them up?
Ozone doesn't set things on fire. I have holes in me from all the fires you bitches set. Oh shit! I think that's.
I set on fire, and I kind of get confused.
Oh my God, I think that's Chainsaw. I think Chainsaw's tackling one of the
That was
housewives.
Chainsaw. You should be careful. She's very scary.
Yeah, she is.
Do you two want to go on a trip on my ooze cruise?
You knuckleheads. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
We love you, even though you make my life absolutely miserable and you call me way too much, and I'm just
Rebekka.
frankly a little bit tired of having to explain things to
Did
you.
you ever find Egypt to be a whiner? Whining.
Oh. Now, ladies,
Crimea River, the Nile River. Is that in Egypt? Who knows? Who cares?
I'm in absolute denial for
The pretty
that.
ones are always like that. They used to getting all the attention, and when they don't get it, they just bitch and moan.
They bitch and moan, and then they put on a tighter dress.
Yeah.
I tried to stress. You're right.
The dress just keeps getting tighter and tighter.
the slut.
You guys, I have had enough, absolutely enough of this nonsense. I've had to listen to you for over 30 years, and I'm frankly just done now. And we're going to go back to interviewing Rebekka. You guys take your naps and take a Xanax the size of a baseball.
You know what? I
out with soap.
I don't need this garbage. I do not need this aggravation. I'm going back to my soap. This is it. This is it. Never call me again. I've had it.
Don't call me.
It's disgusting. I get those biddies, and you get those biddies to kick your ass. You get them.
Any day.
Sound like
I'm
she's
not
a
busy.
cigarette butt. Just break.
They're going to get you. Get her in the other knee. Get her in the eye. Get her in the eye.
I hate that eye. That eye's not real.
That is not real. It's drawn on.
That was a tattooed eye, and I absolutely loved it because it warded off bad spirits and evil, jealous old biddies like you two. So you guys, you talking about me? No.
Yeah.
Look what you created, a monster. You created a monster.
Beat the crap.
You're lazy. You're lazy.
Crap out of
I've had it. I've had it. Ladies.
You go.
Okay, you go.
You're good.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Hang up your fax machine. Those are expensive.
Why don't you get a smaller dress? Just get a smaller dress and stick more of your movies out.
Will you please cut the line? Why? How much more do we have to listen to this? This is ridiculous.
That was amazing.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's probably so weird. Like the audience watching, be laughing, the whole thing. What a friggin' trip! Oh my god,
You
I can't
jumped
believe
right into
what a
it.
Oh,
trip.
don't worry. Our viewers were very confused.
So, to explain to our viewers, Lily, if you want to clear the air so people know what just happened.
When we heard Rebekka was coming on the line, I called Chainsaw, and I was like, Chainsaw, I've got Rebekka that's coming into the studio, and I think it would be so cool if you called in character, and let's just see what she does. I had no idea you were going to jump in with both
Your
feet.
improv skills are amazing.
They're incredible.
So fast, so
My heart
good.
is like beating so fast because
Yeah.
you know, when I was a kid, I watched Glow, and
didn't know that.
and it really like makes me want to cry because I watched it, and so when the audition came up, like not only was I excited just because I was like, oh, it's a cool job, but it was like I watched it and I loved it and I loved them, and so it's so, you know, and I just always thought they were so funny, and so to get to like meet them in character.
I know, right?
Is insane. Just
Yeah.
insane. It's
Yeah.
so cool. I mean, they're so, all of you guys are like just so cool. So I'm definitely starstruck by every Glow girl.
Well, let me tell you, you just jumped in like the third member of the Housewives there, and I was
So
just
fast,
like,
so
holy cow,
good.
you
So
were just
I
good.
wish
like,
Kimmy was here because that just would be, But then it just would have been louder. So three loud idiots enough.
We'll have to get both of you back when we do the season 3 after show.
Yes.
There you go.
For
The
sure.
two of you. We'll put the two of you on this couch so you can bicker at each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, how did you two meet?
Kimmy and I both met at the UCB millions of years ago. We were both just performing there. But then we got together doing comedy when we were both teaching at the Pit, which is another improv theater in New York. We were both like the only female teachers. And people were always like, you guys should do a show together because you're girls. And at first we were like, we could do shows with anybody. And then kind of were like, oh, wait, actually, we should do shows together. And so we joined with my other really close friend, Sarah Lowe, and the three of us became the Apple Sisters, which is like a 1940s musical comedy show that we do. And we started doing just a new musical every month. It was kind of like episodes, so we were always playing the same characters, but just writing a new episode, new music every month. And that kind of launched everything. I mean, it's a very long journey, but it really got us into Montreal Just for Laughs and got us agents and we got little gigs here and there, and really also just doing that much writing gave us the kind of experience that was useful later on. And so we moved to LA like 9 years ago.
Wow.
And then Kimmy and I, Sarah lives in Vegas, and she does musicals there. So she was doing Jersey Boys for years, and she does musicals there. And so Kimmy and I ended up doing a lot of stuff, the two of us, in addition to continuing with the Apple Sisters. And so then when the Glow thing came up, it was natural for Kimmy and I to go because we were both the ones in LA.
Wow.
Yeah,
and you are
incredible.
working on a lot of other projects on your own right now, right?
Yeah, I'm actually making a short film. It's called Consent, a short comedy about a serious subject. And it's going to be a musical comedy short. I wrote it. I'm starring in it. Kimmy is directing it.
Wow.
And we're crowdfunding right now through August 9th. It's on Seed and Spark. But if you follow me at Hello Rebekka on any of the platforms, you could find out about it.
Okay.
Or go to seedandspark.com/fund/consent, and then you can find out more about how you can support it, or just follow it, or just ignore what I'm saying. But it's awesome because it's actually something I've been trying to my feelings about consent I've been trying to use in my comedy for years, and it's hard to do that. And so I've written a bunch of things that I never felt were like the right thing to actually make. And then I recently wrote an article kind of talking about my Me Too experience, and it was just like honest. And then I found it in my brain, this idea for this film. And I was like, oh, I think it all kind of came together. And so I wrote it, asked Kimmy if she would direct it, and it's crowdfunded for it. We're doing it low budget, but still it was enough that I really felt like I needed the support of my community and fans, and it's something that people are really responding to, just the topic. And I think, I'm so excited because it's the first time where I'm really like wrote something on my own, and this is a bigger scale project than just like a sketch. Right. And so the hope would be to get into festivals, and what else do you do with short films?
No, and then
Show them.
Yeah,
There you go. You show them.
and then I think you said Jackie Tone's going to be joining you ladies as well
Jackie
in this.
Tone's going to be in it.
That's awesome.
My friend Tess Barras, who's on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Oscar Montoya, Tate Ellington, who was in Quantico and Brave, he's going to be in it. It's all coming together. So like when I'm not, acting or whatever, I'm producing, and I did a lot of producing outside of acting as well, so been working a lot of spreadsheet work.
Yes.
But it's worth it.
So we want to congratulate you. 10 Emmy nominations for Glow.
Yeah.
So
incredible.
Marc was telling us last week is like, oh, someone usually like lets me know what happened. I don't know where you were for that, if you were awake at, I don't know if it was 8 or 5 o'clock in the morning or what, like people are texting you.
It was
or...
like 8:30 because it was, and so because I have a toddler, I was up. So he was up at like 7, and I was just like, okay, an hour and a half. And I was hopeful that we would get nominated for Best Comedy, and I was hopeful that some of the actors would get nominated. And so watching it, I was definitely feeling lots of anticipation. And after a couple categories that we didn't get, I was like, oh, we're never getting Best Comedy. And then, like, we did, and my husband screamed, and I screamed, and my son started crying because he thought
He's like, what's happening?
My neighbor looked out the door. I was like, what is going on? But yeah, it's just so exciting. It's great. I love Glow, and I think it's such a well-written show with such great acting, and every element in the production is amazing. So it was great that we got all those nominations.
Plus you ladies are like sisterhood of the wrestling pants. I mean, all of you together.
If we're wearing pants,
exactly. Like you just go out together and it seems like just have fun. I don't know if you can even get sick of each other after a while. Oh, we got to go to that event again. I don't know.
No, we hang out. We hang out outside of all the Glow stuff and any of the Hollywood stuff. Like we love hanging out with each other. So yeah, our text chain was just blowing up. As the nominations were coming in, and then because some of them weren't announced on TV, so then other girls were like, oh, this one too, and this one, and when Betty with her nomination, that was just thrilling.
Yes.
She's so good.
Oh yeah.
And everyone's good, but she's so good, and so just for her to be recognized is incredible. It's well deserved, of course, but not it doesn't always happen that way.
Well, we've talked about it a couple of times on this after show about how season 2 really evolves all of the characters, and that you guys really got to stretch your wings a little bit more individually, and obviously for you guys as a duo in this second season, because you don't have to establish the characters anymore.
Right. Yeah, we got to I feel like we did a lot in the ring because and we're get to change from the biddies to the toxic twins. But you do see like Dawn and Stacey a little bit more just like with the girls, which is fun. Yeah. So yeah, and the show overall really deals with a lot of the drama that the girls are going through.
I like the subtleness of like in the hospital room. It's like, that could have been me. Oh, that could have been me.
Could have been both of us.
Yeah. And just something you know, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
It's so subtle but hilarious.
Yeah, we added that one little bit in. So a lot of times they'll write, it'll be like one line and then me too or whatever. Like it'll be like that, and then we'll just make sure that we both get a joke.
That's
sometimes
awesome.
they're like, can you stick to the script? But most of the time they're cool with it. Yeah, I can't physically do it.
One thing that I love about both of you in both seasons, and you know we saw a little bit of it in season 1, we saw a little bit of it in season 2 in different ways, is that the two of you are kind of shitty. Like,
yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But I think that's just
Bill,
another example of, you know, Glow's gotten so much praise for having all these three-dimensional characters, and all the characters are so fleshed out and so in-depth, and they're all real people.
Right.
And I think that's really cool that you guys are like really funny and like really good friends, but like you're sort of just in it for yourselves and are free to screw over other people whenever you want to.
Yeah, and I feel like they definitely put themselves first, but they do care about the girls.
Sure.
And like, but yeah, taking Arthy's bit was a crappy thing to do. I think it was one of those things where they did it, and then I know, at least for Dawn, I don't know what's going on in Stacey's head under all that hairspray. But for me, I felt like when Arthy called us out, I realized how crappy I was like, oh, shit, that was bad. Like, you know, where it was just like, oh, we're competitive. So then we just start competing, and then you get caught up in the competition. But really, even you can see that we still are friends with our, like I'm stretching with her in like the next scene. So yeah, but it was fun. It was fun to get to do that and to get to like see us have more than just like energy.
Yeah, I think, but I think that a lot of shows are afraid to do stuff like that, where it's like, I have to like these people all the time, or I have to hate these people all the time. It's like a real person in the real world, where it's like, I'm a good person, but sometimes I'll do something that's kind of crappy to somebody else.
Well, and especially with a show where like Ruth sleeps with her best friend's husband and she's the star, it's like that, but you still root for her. And and the good thing is, it's not like you're rooting for her to get with Mark. You're not like, oh, I just hope she keeps sleeping with her friend's husband. Like, that's not what you're rooting for, but you're rooting for her to have like, you know, success in life, so that she doesn't have to keep doing that.
Right.
We have a couple of chat questions. You want me to toss those out real quick? Sure. For some reason, Cat Fan in the chat is very interested to know what is served on set for lunch.
Every day was different. I mean, not every day. I guess my favorite was when they'd have like a theme, like a Mexican theme, because flan is my favorite dessert. So much so that every day I'd look at the dessert table looking for flan. And it was only there on Mexican Day. I told like the head of catering, I just really love if you could have flan other days. It didn't manifest itself. But the girls did buy me a flan for my birthday. So that was really nice.
So hold on here. Like I'm visualizing like an array of healthy food, because you're wrestling and you need good energy and nothing like that, huh?
There is some healthy food, but
no one cared about it.
When you think about it, the amount of actors versus the amount of crew and like carpenters and all that, it's like they're really feeding the other guys, the people who care about, and you know, I'm sure they care about health too, but they're not really thinking about, oh, these are actresses who might want to like stay thin or anything. And I took advantage of every dessert, every candy. I literally gained weight during season 1 because I just was like, look at all this food. And the showrunners had said like, don't lose weight. We want you guys like, you know, different,
normal,
being
yourselves,
bodies.
being yourselves. Yeah,
I really
that's great.
doubled down on
You're
that.
like, listen, I will take your advice, and I will eat all the flan, thank you.
I'm sure we'll get into plugs later, but in case we forget or it slips your mind or anything, Jay Becker wants to know when's the next Apple Sisters performance.
We don't have a show scheduled, but I'm sure we'll do one around Christmas time. We always do our Christmas show, and we usually do a show in Vegas and a show in LA.
Will it be like Largo or?
We have done Largo. We perform most often at the UCB.
UCB. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you can follow us, but if you follow me, you could find out about all that. Yeah, we don't have anything scheduled right now.
And Ghost Directive wants to know, do you believe? I'm sure you don't know because, like Marc Maron didn't know. No one knows yet. But do you feel like season 3 will be shot in Vegas, or do you think it'll be movie tricks?
I think we'll do part of it in Vegas. I bet. Nice. Like, I have a feeling. But it's funny because when it came up, one of the girls was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, we're going to go to Vegas. And one of the girls was like, what am I going to do with my dog? And I was like, what am I going to do with my kid? I like that. My first thought was like, yeah. And she was like thinking of her dog. Like, oh God, I'm a good mom, I swear.
There's so much stuff for kids to do in Vegas now.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Send him down a slide.
You just push him into Paris and be like, pick you up at 8.
Yeah, we're traveling the world.
Right.
I am really curious. I know that the show is loosely based on the documentary, the real story of the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. Do you guys realize the impact that you're having on not just female wrestling, because of the popularity of Glow? I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but there's been a lot more interest in female wrestling to the point that the WWE and other big promotions have put a lot of money into putting those girls, giving them more time.
Yeah,
right.
And the Mae Young Classic.
Yes, exactly. And when I think of you guys going through the season, I'm thinking, I wonder, because we didn't know the impact we were making at that time. Do you have any idea the impact you're making on the women that you're actually empowering that's watching the show right now?
I think that we didn't know like the level of where it's gone, especially in the wrestling community. But I think we were so empowered by actually learning how to wrestle, by the storylines, by the women that work behind the camera. Most of the directors are women, most of the writers are women, the producers are women. As a mom, it was so empowering because the showrunners are moms. Jenji Kohan is a mom. And the kids are on set, and it's like just this normalized thing that is not normal in Hollywood. So it was so empowering. Just the whole thing of it was so empowering. And so it makes sense that it translates, but it's so exciting. And we've met some like WWE wrestlers, like superstars that
you've been on the show a couple times, like at the events. You're there. It's like,
and
it's
they're
awesome.
So like the actual women are so like complimentary, and some of them were like, I'm getting like magazine cover, like just different things that they're getting. People are interested in like their athleticism and their art form because of maybe they were exposed to it from Glow, and just that's awesome. And I'm so happy that there's even more attention on the original Glow and the documentary, which was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
While we're talking about WWE, like Rick mentioned, you've been on, you went to a pay-per-view, you've been on an episode of Raw.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know, would you have any interest in doing like wrestling outside of the Glow show?
I would be a manager.
Yeah. You'd be a great manager.
Yes. You would be great.
She would be great.
I think that our wrestling is real wrestling, but it's also like, you have a match coming up. It's all choreographed. You practice the same thing over and over again. You're not in front of a huge crowd. It's like, I feel like it would be, I would need a lot more like balls to really do it, but being a manager would be perfect because I can run my mouth off. I could take a hit if they need to do that,
Sure.
And so it would be like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Well, when you're filming the battle royale, those, even though they're paid extras to be in those seats, you still are performing to a live crowd.
It's true.
Kind of, give you a little bit of butterflies. I mean, they're watching you. You don't want to.
And you could see because background people, they're working for 12 hours, and they go from show to show, like bored, But you could see them get really excited, and then when the ADs would be like, tell them they couldn't actually cheer because you have to hear what's going on in the ring, and then the cheering would be put in after. So you'd get some takes with them cheering, but then it's like for them, they're like. You can't cheer. It's like really funny, but even with the battle royale, like our battle royales are perfectly choreographed, and we work on it for hours to get. It's not like you're gonna accidentally get a elbow to the face. It's like everything is then you go out, you're gonna do this, and then if you need to stall because you need to wait for Debbie to get out of the ring before you go out of the ring, so it's an extra headlock and hair pull before you do that. But,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, that leads me to my question that I asked. I started with you last season 1 carpet. Is do you still believe in a battle royal, like after like learning some more wrestling moves, knowing the ladies? do you still think that Kia Stevens would be the last one standing, or are you changing your tune and saying somebody else? Brittany said Fortune Cookie. Mark said last week he said maybe Vicky Viking, Mariana.
Right. You know, I feel like if it wasn't Kia, it would be Kate Nash, because I don't know if you noticed, but her wrestling is insane. And I even read one article where they said that she'd be the only one out of all of us who would make it in real wrestling, which I was like,
oh,
wow.
whoa.
That drop kick, huh? Wow.
Should've read that one. But it is true. She's so good. Like, and she can take a front bump like no other. So I feel like if it wasn't Kia, it would be Kate. Yes.
I love it.
Well, I have one more question for you, if you guys don't mind.
Go for it.
So, getting back to the subject of WWE, since this is something that WWE would probably be very interested in, if they came to you and said, we want to do a glow match at the next WrestleMania, would you sign up for that?
Yeah. I'd do a glow match. Like, if we were wrestling each other.
Right.
Or as long as, like of course, I feel like if I would wrestle, Lana or, Naomi or,
Or
Natalya.
if they wanted to do, like 5 glow women against, 5 WWE superstars.
Yeah.
Kind of like drop
Or
the
you can
mic.
mix and match. You can mix and match it too.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, it would be very intimidating. I feel like actually wrestling them, because as you know, you're just really going with the flow, and so. I would be scared for weeks leading up to it. But I have a hard time saying no, especially when I'm scared of something. So that means probably I would say yes. Well, did you make me sign a contract verbally?
Yeah.
Do you work for the WWE?
Well, I mean, it's only like 75,000 people.
And then, yeah.
That's just the live audience, though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's saying the people that are watching.
Yeah.
Oh.
But hey, you heard it here first, guys.
Oh,
Okay.
WWE.
Go ahead and lock in Rebekka.
Vince McMahon, listen up. Or Mrs. McMahon, or Stephanie and Triple H, listen up. Yeah.
I've met them. They're nice.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I mean, they're not. Are they heels? They're heels.
Not when,
No, they're
not when
faces.
they're not on camera.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's kayfabe.
Yeah.
Oh, there still is?
Yeah.
I didn't know we were still practicing
Sometimes.
that. Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a sliding scale of
Yeah.
kayfabe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. When we were wrestling, there was kayfabe.
Yeah.
Oh, you had it
Big
hardcore.
time. Yeah,
Like you can't be seen with the
Oh,
other girls.
they were told not to be seen with us or talk to us. It was not something that they wanted any relationship with whatsoever. So the fact that they're embracing glow is awesome. It's kind of like if you can't beat them, join them.
Right.
But they did try and beat them for like 30 years, but I am so glad that they're opening their hearts and their houses to you guys and getting you in there so that you can see that what you guys represent to me anyway is the pioneer movement of of what led to the Divas right now, the Diva division and the knockouts and what they're doing. So for us, thank you. Keep smiling.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, and you guys had to actually go through all of the things that, not that we don't have to still go through things in Hollywood as women, but you couldn't really talk about it or complain that you were wrestling in a boxing ring.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even think we didn't even know that there was a difference between a boxing and a wrestling ring, so we just assumed that was a wrestling ring. Right. And we're like, ow, it hurts to fall. So, I can't tell you how many concussions and like you were talking about twisted knees and ankles and when Ruth went down and she when she got busted up. Yeah. That hit home because one of the reasons that there were so many girls cast in Glow was because we needed to fill spots. Yeah, it was like there were over 60 girls given characters, and yet we only needed 30 over the course of a season. So you could you had a 50% chance of even making it back the next time.
That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, each week we were hoping to get back each week, not each season. It was like, wow, if I could just get through this week.
Well, yeah, and that's where you would be like, oh, even though I'm sore, I'm going to push.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm not working.
Right, you're not working, no payday.
I'm just living in the Riviera.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah.
Well, I have one last question before we have to wrap up, because we do have to wrap up, unfortunately. What was your favorite move that you did?
The sunset flip.
What is that?
It's where someone is kind of like bent over, and you run up, you slide over their back, go underneath, and pull them through over onto you.
It's a beautiful move.
Yes.
It's very impressive.
And I didn't get to do it on camera, but I did it. We all learned how to do everything.
Right.
But Betty and Allie did do it in a match in season 1, and it's done a couple times in season 2. But it was my favorite move. It's so fun. You're
That's amazing.
feel like you just can't believe you're jumping over someone through them, pulling them down. I mean,
And it looks
I like
great.
flipping in the air, so you're just flipping over someone.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What about drop kicks? Have you done a
I
drop
can't.
kick?
I haven't done. I'm not good at that. Yeah.
Oh,
Kate's good at that. Yeah.
For the future. For the future. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
And
you,
that
thank you.
surprise was incredible
Amazing.
and priceless.
So cool.
And thank you all so much for joining us. We always love having you, especially in the live chat. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment on this YouTube video. Go check us out on iTunes as well. My name is Candice Cruz. You can find me on all my social media at Candice R. Cruz.
And I'm Rick Hong. You guys can find me on all social media at Rick Hong. And don't forget, if you want to know where Rebekka's campaign is, seedandspark.com.
Yes, right
or follow her
there.
on social media.
Yes, great. And I am at Little Egypt on Twitter and Instagram, all social media.
And I'm at Hello Rebekka. It's with 2 Ks, no H. Get it out of there. And that's on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So.
Amazing.
Get the H out.
Yeah.
I'm on all social media at Sundown Motel.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week.
Next week.
Bye.
Not me.
Why not?
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.